Thank you so much for making the time to learn more about Piecemeal Solidarity and how to participate as a hosting organization. I want to go ahead and get started. I'm going to move a few things around here. All right. 1 minute here. There we go. Okay. Now I can move slides. All right. First of all, this is a project brought to you by Great Start and 5 to 1. And so 5 to 1 is a project of the Great Start Collaborative that hopes to bring together families and local community partners to ensure that all children reach their highest potential. So Piecemeal Solidarity is one of a project of 5 to 1. So that kind of helps you to frame where this is going. And this is all part of the state of Michigan's Early Childhood Initiative to help bring together parents and all people who impact the early childhood system. So we have some outcomes for today's meeting. Want to make sure that you understand the vision for Piecemeal Solidarity and how community partners can embrace the project. We'd like to share some feedback with you from last year and some lessons learned. Also to provide information on how Great Start and 5 to 1 can support your participation. And we'll lay a foundation for communication and support for Piecemeal Solidarity and provide some tools to maintain connection, to engage and involve families. So Piecemeal Solidarity, what is it? So this project that was envisioned by our Great Start Collaborative of Traverse Bay intended to engage families with young children in community activities that promote inclusion and appreciation of diversity, all the while providing a connection to community and resources and their community in general, along with a globally inspired meal and some early literacy materials. So this is kind of a grand vision for bringing a lot of different types of information to families. But we found that families really have an interest in trying different foods. And so we thought this was a nice way to explore some of those pieces. And during COVID times when this originated, it happened to be a nice way to bring people together, even if we were not in the same room together. So why is this This is an important project to support families. So families have felt isolated. We're still seeing the effects of isolation on children because of COVID-19. Still seeing some children out there who have not had much of any socialization and knowing their communities. Low cultural diversity in this region does limit opportunities to experience traditional arts and culture of diverse peoples. Food insecurity during COVID-19, and I know some people might say because of inflation, my grocery bills have gone up. I know that's a thing. So this providing meals can certainly be help families face food insecurity. And this project builds connection to other activities, resources, and supports for parents and children in the community, including those that build understanding of diversity and social connections for parents. So we have a little video for you to notice from last year. We wanted you to kind of see what this looks like in action. Oh, buffering. Thank you for your patience.
We stand all together, one voice saying yes we can. Each one, reach one till we pull ourselves up, cause we all one fan. From the rest to the block, to the Perry, to the rock, we connect that love. Cause the people with power feel the power of the people when we stand as one.
I got you stuck off the realness. We be indigenous, you heard of us. Max Heaven, the murderer, spreading the love with the water and earth. And the stand against hate, kinda know what the purpose is. We rise, the climate is changing. Signs of the times, it's time to start praying. Pray for the world and community. Prayers are more powerful when we're in unity.
What I know, we are one. What I know, what I know, we are one. Woke up today, hungry for a change, new path to take. Can't stay the same, it's been too long. Pointing out who's right or wrong, can you hear me out? All we need is a little bit of love. Take time to heal and it starts with us. Hand in hand, I put my trust in one world, reunite, it's a must. Hold on to hope, we can overload. We can break the code with a single note. Sing out for the world to hear that our time is now, no more for tears. I looked into my son's eyes, a new day in a new light. Lift the veil and dwell so peaceful. Come together, one world, one people. What I know, we are one. What I know, no, we are one. It's who you are, it's who I am. We all bleed the same blood, yeah.
So there we go. That gives you a little flavor for what the project looked like in action. And although the video said 2021, we had a very similar pattern for some of our data and information on how things rolled out from this year as well. So get past this here. So really, what did participants enjoy? This is where I took all of the feedback is exclusively from this past year. What did they enjoy about piecemeal solidarity? 25% reported their child tried a new food at one of the meals. This was down a bit from the first year where we had lots of new people. So the whole project was new. So some of these numbers did go down just a little bit in 2022 because of the fact that many were repeat participants in trying new things. So lots of enjoyment of the literacy materials. I appreciated having a safe event to go to during COVID. And this actually was one number that went up, was the opportunity to talk about other cultures. It went up from like 65% to 75% with the carrying through with this next year. So we had a tool that kind of helped us with that. The parents developed the cultural guides for each country. So that was a big hit, so that families could have more than just the meal at home. They could have an information sheet about what the country, what it looked like, some links to dancing or music from that country, as well as some other recipes and things to explore. 16% valued the chance to learn more about community resources. Again, this did go down a little bit, but I think I really attribute that to so many repeat participants and just the fact that they had kind of experienced this once before, but those who were new to the project really, again, Cooking Class Global Feast, I think 8% is a low number, but many of them already had the book because of last year. So we've got some new tweaks coming as a result of that. So but that was some feedback. Suggestions. This was suggestions to improve. Only 2 really came through. This is, again, just unique to this year's data. Playing music or displaying a country flag at pickup locations to further enhance the atmosphere. So this is really would be up to the hosting organization to decide how they want to carry through with it. And adding books to reflect the cultural experience. So example of having the French dinner, having books about France. So this is something that a hosting organization, we could be happy to help consult with how to make that happen from your end, if that would be something a host wanted to be a little more thoughtful about. Our literacy materials we typically provide are very just blanket, generally just books for kids. What are something you would change about the experience? I did this, nobody had any suggestions. We would have something they would have changed. Apparently there were a lot of really great responses and people had a great experience with this. So really tried to get what would they change about it. Not a lot of feedback for that. But sharing piecemeal solidarity, I always really like what families tell us about this, what it made our family want to, and this is just filling in the blank. So experience more culture, trying more piecemeals, participate in more event dinners, doing it again, eating together, trying new recipes. Those were all things that creating meals as families. This is something that really resonated well with families as they enjoy cooking and eating together. And it may not be something that happens as frequently as they'd like it to. So as a host, what are you being asked to do? This is kind of where the rubber hits the road here. Providing a safe way to receive a globally inspired grab and go meal. And that's either fully prepared and cooked on site, or it's ready to eat in a grocery box of ingredients to cook at home. Families do appreciate knowing. We don't like letting families be surprised about whether they're getting something that they have to cook when they thought it was going to be ready. So we've tried to be really clear about what kind of meal is being distributed. So that shapes kind of everything we do in promoting the events. So and yes, the meals can be prepared and distributed in February, March, or April. So we try to keep that. Some did host as far as May, but really tends to be nice to wrap it up by the end of April. So use the provided cooking class Global Feast cookbook for inspiration to prepare and serve at least one recipe from the book as part of your meal. It's not limited to those recipes, but one of them, we like to say one of them would be from the book. Some people like to include a side dish and a main entree, but just having one thing at least from the cookbook tends to tie everything together nicely. Distributing early literacy and talking and teaching materials and any other literature about your organization with the meal to families who participate. So you can get, if you are a church entity, tell people about when VBS is coming, if that's something you do. If you are, what are other events for families? This is about learning about their communities. So please share, having the hosts share information about who they are and what they offer families is a really important piece of it. And then each organization is asked to create a stamp, and that's usually a label that can to provide families so they can collect them in their passport books that you saw in the videos just shared. So they earn, and by collecting those stamps, they will earn some different things, not just a cookbook. So we'll get to that in a minute, but there's some things that they earn based on how many meals they attend. So we're trying to make sure that everybody knows how important those stamps are, and they're a lot of fun. People have had a lot of fun designing them. And along the way, anyone hosting a meal, whether it's grab and go or prepared to eat or prepared to cook at home. So I've got to get that down. So it's either prepared and ready to eat or a cook at home grocery box. These are the things that we will do to support you in whatever path you choose. We will provide talking as teaching materials to display and distribute. So any of these posters about let's talk about the world, community, and food. We will also connect and promote your event across our network of 5 counties. So every week, families get our e-news that goes out to 2,500 people or so. Find out about our playgroups and events so it is promoted. Hosts are also encouraged to share within their own network of constituents. We will help you if you'd like to create a digital flyer for distribution to your audience. We have some pre-made templates that make it easy. It's kind of a recognizable logo at this point. So if that's something that can help you, we don't expect all hosts to be graphic designers or anything like that, but we do have some things that can help you promote it that are kind of ready to go. We will give you a copy of the Cooking Class Global Feast book by Deanna F. Cook. We really vetted this cookbook pretty carefully, and we are really impressed by the way it offers step-by-step instructions. It features great photographs of kids doing the cooking, and it also is the readability of it is really nice. It's easy to read. It's not text heavy, so it's more photo driven by the photos. We will promote a donation opportunity for your organization at the time of the event. And this kind of depended on making sure a basket is available if you'd like to collect donations. Having a basket available that says that is helpful for families to anticipate.
Okay.
We will also provide copies of the 5-to-1 Early Childhood Resource Guide, books that are appropriately aged for ages 0 to 8. And we will also provide the passports that you can see down below that feature the different pages and how families kind of navigate the event series. We will have information about sharing to social media to connect posts from the event. So it's always great. Everyone has their own social media plans as different organizations, but we'll try to have some hashtags that are good to use if that's in your wheelhouse to do. Connecting, we'll also connect to your organization to Great Start Parents activities to reinforce the mission of Piecemeal Solidarity with World Cafes, our Family Equity Challenge, and our Strengthening Families trainings that are available. Next up, so this is again the flyer and event creation. These are all kind of ready to go. Things that can be passed out. So promoting the event itself, you can choose to design your own. Some people like that. So we'll provide the logos for you if you want to do your own. But if you want us to do it, we'll just need the organization's logo and we would like to have a copy of the flyer too to attach to our events on social media that we can co-host together. And we also do all of our event registrations. So if you do choose to do your own, you do need to have a way to register participants. If we do it, we have that all in place that we'll set up the event registration for you. So not to, it's kind of a real win actually when we do it, but it's also able to do it both ways. We will close the event registration links 2 days before the event, just so you can make sure food counts are accurate and shopping lists. But you can also choose if you want to make, ride it out to the end and just prepare, you can do it however, but we found over the time of doing this that having the link closed 2 days before the event is helpful for everybody. So here's what's new this year. We have a clear globe beach ball that will be distributed after a second meal. So if someone comes to, one meal, they get to see all the different stuff. They get their food, of course, they can pick a book, they get their resource guide, but there's also, then they come a second time and then they can earn the globe. So we're kind of setting up, we're still in deliberation about cooking tools and what those look like. This is a little bit of an aside, but each of the libraries we offered our literacy hub materials and Talking is Teaching kits. We have 2 new kits that are going to be in libraries all over the region, at least one in every county. That supports let's learn about the world and let's learn about what makes you unique. So there is a kit in a local library in every county that supports the cooking of these meals at home, even if you don't make it to any of the scheduled events. So these will be available after Christmas. Hopefully the libraries will all be receiving them around the holiday break. So we're looking forward to getting these materials exactly what you see in those boxes. So they are checkoutable, just like STEM kits and so many other things. Donation collection for host organizations. So this was new actually last year, but we have some language to kind of help provide families with a sense of how that looks. And then we are deliberating another cookbook to purchase for those who've already received the Cooking Class Global Feast. I have a few that we're going to be reviewing to see if families really liked a cookbook together. So we'll be putting some other choices together for our families and to make a selection on. So hopefully another cookbook will be available this year for families who earn their 4 stamps. So these are the decisions that you need to make as somebody who is potentially interested in participating as a hosting organization. First of all, I would love to know whether or not you'd like to participate by January 10th. You can email me directly. I'll try to reach out to you too. And then what date you'd like to host a meal. We'd like to get all the dates for meals. Some people kind of offer a rolling series and they don't know all their dates, but it really does work best to know what countries and meals are coming right up front so that so that other people can choose. So it does get I tend to go on a first come first serve basis, that people who commit to a date, then they pick their country. So just so that we have a mix of countries, we have a mix of dates and times. It doesn't matter to me when you do your meal. You can do it if you want to do it Wednesday night, great, do Wednesday night. Most of the time it's not too much, there's not too much of an issue there. The recipes that you'd like to prepare, I'd love to know if you do have 2 weeks ahead of time. One of the pieces that families requested after the first year we did this, and really everyone stepped up, is how allergy friendly some of the foods are. Do they contain wheat? Do they contain egg? Do they contain nuts? Do they contain, dairy products? Those were all things that were helpful. I will make this slide deck available as well, so that any host, along with this video, families can access the slide deck, or hosts can, so you can access those forms to let me know, what your decisions are. And instructions, so instructions about meal pickup can be included with the event information. We'll try to go through all of that. I'll try to kind of go through it one-on-one with each organization to kind of make sure it's all ready to go. And again, that stamp, just having that ready to roll a couple weeks before is helpful. So what's next? After the session, those who participated live, you'll receive a link to express your willingness to participate, and share information about your event. You'll also be able to find the recording of this on our website, so if you want to refer back to it at any time. Based on the dates that you choose to serve your meals, I'll contact you to help create the promotional flyers, deliver your copy of the cookbook and early literacy materials, all of that for distribution. Usually the cultural guides, those were one piece that was really kind of tricky to get delivered, much more than like at the time of the event. So those were created by a group of parent ambassadors who last year we needed like right up to the last minute to get that all lined up. So the cultural guides are the only thing that might come in at the last minute from our end to distribute at the time of the meal and the event. So have fun. There's a world of creativity that people can take on to do this. There are so many ways to think about it. Do you want everybody to, people serving the meal at your organization to dress up like, or wearing clothing, more traditional clothing from that country? Do you want to have music and flags and some of the things that people suggested? There's also a language fair component. This should have gone on the what's new, but that we're asking for a parent team to take on a language fair piece and working on something as a family where we'll learn a simple expression in a few different languages. So we're going to kind of use the countries that we're going to have meals with for the event series, and we'll be at every event there'll be a new phrase or a few words to learn in different languages. So really embracing that early talk, early literacy. Talking is teaching, talking is literacy. So that piece really is just as important. So a new emphasis, a different twist this year. So the other thing that's kind of fun to know about is that MSU, in case, gosh, how do we cook for a crowd? MSU Extension is offering a class on cooking for crowds. So that's January 12th. So by the time you know what country, or if you want to participate on the 10th, you'll also be ready to take the cooking for crowds if you choose to make a meal that's not a grocery box offering. It's one that's already prepared and ready to eat. This is a nice offering for those, just to make the idea of cooking for a group a little less intimidating. So I highly recommend taking that if that's an interest. And at this point, we're going to kind of stop this for questions, and at the end, if you, just to know, I'll kind of stop the recording, we'll do some questions, but really this is such an important, people of different religions and cultures live side by side in almost every part of the world, and most of us have overlapping identities which unite us in very different groups. We can love what we are without hating what and who we are not. We can thrive in our own tradition, even as we learn from others and come to respect their teaching. So Kofi Annan, great quote that just really always is a good thing to land on after considering this event, participating in this event series. And thank you. You can always call me, contact me, and my email is there. And I'm happy to work with you and your organization and being part of Piecemeal Solidarity this coming year. Thanks for coming.
Okay, fantastic. You did a great job.